I do agree. Opinions in good men is but knowledge in the making, and hope many good men do find great opinions, and act upon those opinions to better our world. Realistically, and much more often, people take their own opinions to a level where the opinions become intolerable of other ideas. In the ideal world, people would more closely follow. I never considered a difference of opinion in politics, in religion, in philosophy, as cause for withdrawing from a friend. And when people argue, they would do so without great conflict or strife. And when people do this, they will allow themselves to contemplate and consider the perspective and ideas of the other person. People approach discussions with contempt. They refuse to concede anything to the opposition. Especially on emotional topics. The problems people see with partisan politics, and many exist, also become evident in general arguments between two people with differing viewpoints. The general argument only represents a smaller version of the partisan politics. The arguments themselves, which often come with the uninformed opinions of the uninformed people, illustrate the people's disregard for objective facts which would present more truth than any emotional outburst could. Look at a classroom discussion on an emotional topic. Students argue like politicians whose careers depend on the outcome of the discussion. Those on the extreme ends of opinion dominate the discussion. Those in the moderate middle wish not to involve themselves in what seems to become an argument which will decide the fate of the world. People who lack open minds, why do they refuse to consider the validity of the opposing argument, even when the opponent presents a reasonable and logical argument? The people simply refute any ideas which contradict with their own beliefs, for the people cannot, perhaps will not, recognize the other point of view. The people become a large boulder. The boulder will not move from its position. For even a well thought out push cannot force the boulder to budge. The boulder stands in position and stubbornly refuses to give up even an inch. Many people receive information which they trust, even if the information comes from a less than reliable source, and use this information to build their opinions and beliefs. We all collect the information in similar fashions. It represents the only process we can form opinions and make judgments. Yet we cannot believe every piece of information we come across, but must learn to detect bias and see the context behind situations. We must build opinions, but also remain willing to hear and consider conflicting ideas. If we continue to block out ideas, we will never reach our full potential as society. We will not make progress. We will not see reform. We will not solve our problems. We cannot afford to continue on the path which we currently travel. Without change, our entire system could grind to a halt. As the government experiences gridlock and becomes unable to accomplish any task, Congress, who currently possesses one of the lowest approval ratings of all time, already experiences occasional gridlock from members who vote solely along partisan lines. And, if the major partisanship continues, the gridlock will only become worse. But, to speak realistically, and with an understanding that partisanship and conflict over issues will always exist, I ask for not a perfect society, but a tolerant society. Government and debate should remain places where we go to solve our problems, not forums for us to tear down others' ideas and values. After all, debate and compromise illustrate the basis of our Constitution, but in order for debate and compromise to become constructive, we must keep our mind open to new ideas. We must not let our own ideas and opinions make us unable to compromise, for if we cannot compromise, we cannot move forward with progress. And if we cannot move forward with progress, we will not succeed.